In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your valve cover on your Mini Cooper. It's located on top of the engine. We're going to remove this plastic cover. You're just going to pull it off. This clips in the back. Now we're going to remove our hose by pulling it off. We're going to remove all 4 wires. They are in order, and there is numbers on your coil. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So just pull them out and set them off to the side. Now we're going to take off this hose clamp, slide it down, and we're going to undo our hose, twist it around a little bit, and pull that off. You can get that right out of your way. Next, we're going to disconnect our coil connector. You're going to unlock that red tab. Use a flathead screwdriver to do that. You may have to push it from the other side to get it going. And once it's unlocked, you push down on this tab and remove it. Pick up your wires and feed it through and get that out of the way. Next, we're going to disconnect our fuel injectors, the electrical side of them. You're going to flip up this red tab, push in on here, and pull up. Do the same for the rest. Next, we're going to take this out of its bracket. So just push that out and set it aside. And now we're going to get these 2 plastic tabs out and pull up on the harness. Let's start on this side. Then we're going to work our way down. I'm using a flathead screwdriver to get it away from it. Now you can pull this away just far enough to get to the valve cover bolts. Over here where your O2 sensor is connected, you're going to take this bracket, you're going to twist the connector up and out. Ours is zip tied, so I'm going to cut that. That shouldn't be how yours is. I'll just replace that later. And now you can twist it and unhook it from that bracket. And that'll get that out of the way so you can get to the bolt right there. We're going to take the hold down for this wiring connector off the valve cover stud by using a pick and just pulling it off. And just set that aside. Now we're going to remove the valve cover bolts. To do that, I'm going to use an 8mm socket and an extension, and we're just going to go all the way around. Make sure they're all free. Now that we have all the bolts undone, we're going to remove our valve cover. I recommend just trying to get it to move first. And just move things out of your way as you try to get the valve cover off. If you feel like your bolts are holding you back, you can use your extension and socket together and just release them from the threads if there is still threads in there. Remove your valve cover and set it aside. Let's put a rag over top the cams so no debris gets in there as we clean around the surface. Make sure you're using a clean rag, obviously. I'm going to put one more in the front. Now we're going to clean it up. I start with a rag first, and then a plastic razor blade. If you need to, you can use a regular razor blade too. Just make sure you don't gouge the surface. And you just want it nice and clean so that you don't have any leaking gasket. Now we're going to transfer our coil onto our new valve cover. Using a 10mm socket, you're going to remove this bolt. The bolts stay inside the coil, so you're just going to loosen them up. We're going to put our coil on our valve cover now. Just line it up, and you can get your bolts started. We're going to tighten these down till they're flush, and then we're going to torque them to 100 inch-pounds. I'm going to put these in. Just push them in. And now we're going to put our other gasket on. You're going to line it up. And you're going to press it in all the way around. Once you have your gaskets all installed on your valve cover, you can go install it. We have our valve cover ready. We're going to take out our rags. Make sure there's no debris left behind. If there is, use a rag to get it out. Now we're going to place our valve cover on top. You might want to get your wires out of the way. Just put them on top and lower it down. You want to make sure no harnesses are in your way, and the hoses, just move them out of the way if they are. And use the tubes for the spark plugs to line yourself up. Once you have your valve cover in place, you're going to start hand tightening just to get the thread started. And go around and make sure they're all wrist tight before I start torquing everything. I'm going to do it in the order that we'll be torquing things. Now we're going to torque them. We're going to do that for 100 inch-pounds. I'm going to go around one more time. I'm going to lift up my wires and just feed this through. Get that ready for connection. And get these lined up. You're going to follow the numbers. 1 goes here, 2, 3, 4. Make sure you press them down and you feel them seat properly. This is already lined up. We're going to push this on. There's also a harness that was on top of the stud here, underneath this hose. So make sure you put that on. Just pick it up and press it down on top of that stud. Should go right through, like that. Now let's put our connector back in the bracket for the O2 sensor. Just take it out of there. You're going to tilt it down, slide it into the bracket, and then twist it so that it seats properly. You may need to unplug it in order to get it back in that bracket. So once you get it inserted, you can connect it again. There's just a button here that you push. Ours is broken. And disconnect the two connectors. Once you get in the bracket, you're going to twist it down, and that'll lock it in place. I'm going to replace my zip tie that was holding this connector together. You do not have to unless your connector is also broken. Now that we've gotten this far, we're going to put this back. Just line everything up. These two brackets are there for these clips here, so you're just going to push that down. Make sure your injector wiring is where it belongs before you do so. Line everything up. It'll make it easier to plug these in after. And then you can press this down, make sure it clips into place, and connect these. Some of our connectors are broken. Yours should snap in, and then lock them. I'm going to put this hose in to its bracket over here. Snap that back into its bracket. Make sure this is seated properly. I'm going to connect our connector to the coil. Plug it in. Make sure you hear that click and lock it into place. Now we're going to put our hose back down. I swiveled mine up. So I'm going to swivel it back down, slide it on. Make sure everything looks good. And now we're going to put our hose clamp back. Let's put our hose clamp back. And now we're going to put our plastic cover back on. This little groove here is where the oil dipstick is. And then just snap it into place.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.